Hey everyone, welcome to the Twin Cities Collective podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Redfield, and welcome. I'm so excited to have our guest today, Kelly Garrett. Is that right?
Yes.
It's a pretty easy name to remember. She is a marketing expert and has an amazing platform where she teaches us how to use ManyChat, which we'll talk about. So can you introduce yourself and your business?
Yeah, certainly. So like you said, I'm Kelly Garrett. I've been running a marketing agency for about 13 years called Etc. Design and Marketing. I'm actually in the process of rebranding right now to become Vision and Flight.
Okay.
Kind of switching out of services, moving more into consulting and providing education and group types of experiences.
So why did you decide to make that change?
You know, frankly, I just kind of became burnt out with services. And I noticed that I was spending a lot of time creating things for other people, helping other people grow their businesses and their marketing. And I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to execute on my own. And I think a lot of times when you're in a services business, we have this false idea that, well, I can do my own stuff over here on the side while I'm doing services. And for me, it just didn't work that way. So I decided, you know what, I need to step back and I need to take some time for myself and then kind of dive in again. And that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, that's amazing because a lot of people, it takes them a long time to get to that consulting point, you know, after doing, or it's like one or the other. You either do it or you help people do it. And so what was that point where you're like, I just want to switch? Did you hit a point or was there like a realization?
It's interesting because I think I've known for a long time that that's what I needed to do. And I was too scared to do it. I've been working with a business coach for the last year, and he was the one that actually said, you know what, time out, you should step back and take a look at things. And it was like, as soon as he said that, there was this huge relief that I felt because it was like, I knew this and I think my family knew it and nobody, you know, I was afraid to think about it because I had spent 13 years building this thing. And
it's a long time.
It is. Yeah. And to tell your clients some of them who've been with me a really long time to say, yeah, I'm just not going to do your stuff anymore. That was just a really scary thing to do. And there's a pride component in it too. Like, I don't want to admit that I was overbooked or I was too stressed and doing too much. So yeah, it felt amazing to make that decision and say, hey, you know what? This is the right thing for me. I've tried to walk away from business as much as possible over the last 3 months. And I still had some clients that I needed to wrap things up with. And I have some clients that I'm probably going to continue to work with more on a consulting basis. But really have just been kind of focusing on my family and myself and trying to just get a foundational balance in place.
Yeah. So were you burnt out? Was that the kind of the impetus for this?
Yes, very much. And, you know, you could see it in my family and just the other areas of my life that I was neglecting. You know, I think especially as an entrepreneur, it's so easy to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
We get so excited about our businesses and we're all passionate about it. And, you know, so then your health starts to take a dive. And for me, there wasn't anything specific health wise. I just didn't ever take care of my body. So starting to do that. Mentally, I have depression and, you know, struggled with that for a long time and just haven't ever sat down and really done the work to be able to pull myself out of it and, you know, and make the right choices.
Yeah. So that's such an interesting, we've never had someone on who's kind of taken that step back and kind of repivoted. So now what is your new business going to look like?
Yeah. So, and it's still a little bit up in the air. And the beauty of it is that I get to kind of decide what I want it to be as I go. To start with, I'm going to be just taking a lot of the tools that I've built up over the years and packaging them into different products or worksheets and templates and things that people can buy to get take my knowledge, take everything that's in my brain, everything that I've been doing, and just put it out there for people as a resource and a tool.
Cool.
From there, then if people want to work more with me, I'll just start out with hourly consulting. In some bigger cases, bigger clients, I can do longer term engagements and bigger projects. And from there, I really want to start doing group sessions, like workshops where we would get together and we'd build out several pieces of your marketing over 2 or 3 days. And more so than just teaching and coaching.
Like hands-on.
I want to actually involve execution in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do that too because it's, I've done a 1-day workshop.
Yep.
And it was like, it's a lot for me.
Sure,
I'm like, let's do like half day. So I'm trying to figure that out too. So that's really cool that you're doing that because that's so needed around here. There's not that many people doing it. Right. So it's really exciting that you're doing that. So I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah. And one of the biggest strengths that I have is being able to tie the strategy pieces together with the technology and execution. And I think that's kind of the intersection of where those two things meet is really what I light up about and what I love doing.
Yeah, because that's why I wanted to have you on is you're so good at the tech side, which not a lot of people are. Like even in marketing. I know it sounds weird.
That's so weird for me.
Yeah. I feel like when I hear from people in marketing, they know the strategy, but they're like, yeah, I don't use any of those tools. I'm like, really? I don't know. I'm really a tech nerd. And so I actually heard you speak a couple weeks ago at the social media marketing meetup with Janet Johnson, who's been on the podcast before. And I wanted to go to that one specifically because I wanted to learn more about ManyChat, which I have and have had for maybe a year, but hadn't really done much with. And I just upgraded.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
So let's get started, go back a little bit. So ManyChat is a Facebook Messenger platform where you can automate Facebook messages. So can you explain a little bit about how you learned about it, kind of how you got into that part of marketing?
Yeah, definitely. So I am an early adopter and I just love any type of new tool, technology, that kind of thing. And I went to a conference here in Minneapolis, actually. That's been like 2-3 years ago now. And I heard someone speak, Andrew Warner of Mixergy is probably how most people know him. Now he's started Bot Academy. I heard him speaking about this Facebook Messenger technology that you can automate messages to people, subscribers. And I just immediately was hooked on it. And I thought, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. And then shortly thereafter, he opened up a program called Bot Academy, and I joined that right away. Throughout the program, we learned how to set this up. We learned strategies. We learned all of everything you need to know about it. And towards the end of the program, he held a contest, and my bot was chosen as the best in the group. And he flew me out to San Francisco, and I got to spend several days out there just kind of hanging out and geeking out about bots. While I was there, I got to meet the founder of ManyChat, Mikhail Young, who he's kind of been in it from the very beginning, even before Messenger was a bot automated platform. He actually started with a different platform and then switched over to Messenger when he saw the opportunity, and especially for marketers. So I was out there. I got to meet him, hang out with him for a little bit, and he was releasing a new thing called the Flow Builder in ManyChat, and it's just a visual representation of how you can have bots go through bot sequences. And I got to provide some feedback on the design of that. It wasn't released yet. He was trying to just get user input and feedback. So that was really cool that I got to, got to make those relationships.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. Cause for the longest time before Messenger, you could talk to people on your website, but it wasn't through Facebook. It was just through other apps that have that technology, right?
Right. Yep, definitely. So a messenger bot is a way to utilize an existing tool, an existing platform that people are already using. And that's one of the biggest reasons that I encourage people to use Messenger. I have people coming to me all the time saying, well, why can't I just put a bot, using another piece of software, Drift or Intercom or something else? Why Messenger? And I think just the biggest reason is that it's already adopted by so many people. There's, I know the number changes all the time, but I want to say 3 billion users on Messenger.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I mean, people say that they want it. I think I've heard something like 64% of people think that a business should be on Messenger. So people want it. They want to interact with you there.
Yeah. And so let's explain a little bit more about what the automation looks like, or what a bot is. Because I think when you hear the word bot, you think like a robot, which it kind of is. It's a technology that can be created by you as the business owner and set up in a way that you want. So can you kind of explain what it looks like? Because we can't really visualize it right now on the podcast, but kind of like maybe an example of going to someone's Facebook page and what you can do with a bot.
Right. So the example that I like to use, but I also hate to use it, is if you look at email automation. It's very similar. It mirrors a lot of what you can do with email automation, but at the same time, it's very different. So, kind of take that with a grain of salt. Essentially, when someone comes to your Facebook page, you have connected a tool called ManyChat. That's the most popular tool to use for marketers. There are other tools out there that you can use. But ManyChat is the fastest growing. They really have their eye on what marketers need to use it for. So you connect your Facebook page to the tool ManyChat, and that serves like your automation platform. So someone goes to your Facebook page, they can send you a message, and then they would be subscribed to your bot. There's also several other ways that you can get them into your bot. You can use a link, you can use a button, pretty much any way that you get someone to subscribe to your email list. That form can be replaced by a ManyChat invitation. They're called growth tools. So someone comes into your bot, you send them some messages. You have an opportunity to give them buttons. You can ask questions. They can respond with buttons. And then you take them on a journey. And it's kind of like a choose your own adventure journey. Like, do you remember the books where you get to the end and then you're like, for this route, go to this page? Same thing with Messenger. You just give them options and they get to self-direct themselves through the experience.
I remember seeing Netflix once had something where you could pick an emoji and it would help you pick what movie to watch that night.
Yeah.
And
cool.
that was the first time I think I'd ever interacted with a messenger bot of any kind and went, how did they do this? So some of the people listening might have already interacted with one and not realized it, or they're like, how did this work?
Right. Exactly.
So, okay. So let's think about, if you're a business owner, what are some of the things that you want to use Messenger for?
The possibilities are really as endless as your creativity. I think one of the most popular and most effective ways to use Messenger right now is to do educational types of things. So webinars, sending out, video series that people can watch and interact. It's primarily, a lot of people are using it as a lead generation tool. But I also, want to emphasize that you can use it for so much more than lead generation. And I think a lot of times we creatively get stuck in lead generation, but it does become very effective as a way to get people back into your funnel and back into being reminded and interested in your products, and then closing the sale as well. So there's really a customer journey component to using a bot, and you have to kind of sit down and look at your customer journey map and say, what would make sense? Where would be a good place to inject Messenger in to the customer journey to give people an option to interact quickly and to get short, brief information that they can just get at their leisure. They don't have to wait for a response from me. They don't need a long email.
Yeah.
Messenger is very much, you have to pay attention to the way people use messaging and text messaging and use it that way.
Yeah.
You don't want to try and force your email sequence into Messenger. That's not the intention. That's not what people want from it. It's more about delivering information, giving them access to things in a very quick way.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I like it, because I'm not a big fan of email. And so I've actually replaced my email on my website with a, contact me on Facebook Messenger, because I'll get back to people a lot faster.
Right.
And I just know that about myself. I know I can write a quick response, especially if they have a quick question.
Right.
And it's so nice, because I otherwise I feel like I have to write a paragraph or write a super long email response, and it takes me 20 minutes to write, know? So that's what I like about it. And so, I'll give some examples of what I'm using it for now. I use it for lead gen to get people not only to download a freebie, but to then I added it so I can now add them to my email list.
Yep.
So that's an option. And then just this week, I did the QR code thing that you did, which was so cool. I was so in shock that you can do that. So basically what you can do is at an event, you can add a QR code, and then they get added to the sequence when they take a picture of it and send them whatever you want.
Right.
It's so cool. So there's so many ways to use it. So how have you used it in your business?
I've done surveys before, which is really cool. I've done, it's a great way to gather feedback, and people are so willing to write responses to you in Messenger. You ask them a question, and you can give them buttons to respond with, pre-populated answers, or you just do open form questions. I've done a couple of those where I've just gotten some amazing responses from people. And then I catalog them in a spreadsheet, and I can quickly go and kind of see trends and things like that. I've also done quizzes, personality type quizzes. So, different results that they come up with. I can make recommendations for certain products or certain trainings that I have. Like I said, webinars, that's a really great thing to do. Event notifications. So if I'm going to go live on Facebook, you can send out a notification saying, hey, I'm about to go live, come and check it out. Webinars and event notifications really increase attendance. And there's really nothing else out there that will help you do that.
That's true. Well, because what's the open rate of Messenger versus email, right? There's a big difference.
Yep. Messenger has between 70 to 90% open rate, which is pretty phenomenal. Now, I don't know if that will remain as it becomes used more and more, but your email lists, you're looking at 25% if you're lucky. And that's just not, people are so saturated with emails. Yeah, I agree. So one question I had that I've struggled with is I have people that, sent me a message from a year ago, but they might not remember that. So how often do you send out a message to everyone versus that one-off experience with certain people where you can just add them for a short period of time? Right. So and this is a very important part of using a messenger bot, which is the Facebook terms of service. They've up until this point, it's kind of been a free-for-all. Facebook was trying to collect data and find out how are marketers going to use this and how are users going to respond. So they had some very loose rules in terms of how you can message people and when you can message people. And it hasn't been until recently that they've started to enforce them. And going forward, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but January 15th in 2020, they've really cracked down on a very explicit terms of service in what you can and cannot do with Messenger. So some of us, are saying that the glory days are over when it comes to that, but that's really not true. Facebook is trying to make this into a platform that people are going to want to use. They're trying to avoid having it become just like email, where your inbox is flooded with things that you don't want, that you're not interested in. So as far as the rules of what you can and can't do, it can get a little bit tricky to interpret, and my hope is that they will come out with more clarification on what can and can't be done. But the basic is this 24-hour rule. And when you start getting into the bot world, the magical 24-hour rule is what you'll hear everybody talk about. Basically, once someone interacts with your bot, you have 24 hours to continue sending them messages from the time of the last interaction. And beyond that point, you have to have your messages have to fit in one of 4 special categories in order to message them. So that's a little bit of a bummer that after 24 hours of the last interaction, you can't message them again unless you pay for a sponsored message. So there is the pay to play model happening there. And that was inevitable. You know, we all knew that was going to happen. It was just a matter of time because Facebook, that's how they make their money. So you do have the option to message people as a sponsored message after the 24-hour period has expired. But up until that period, you can message them as often as you want, or, you know, whatever you want. That can include promotional messages, so selling and
interesting,
that kind of thing.
Because I wanted to know, you know, should you, when they first sign up to be in your bot, which is kind of like an email subscription, you kind of opt in, even though a lot of people don't know that they are. That's been something I'm trying to figure out too. But maybe you messaged them 6 months ago and then all of a sudden you send them a message. Is that like weird? I don't know. I feel like it would be weird for me because I'm like, wait, who is this again? So that's the one thing is, do you then start sending them messages more frequently right when they first sign up? Or how do you keep them in that funnel so they remember who you are?
Right. And really, you know, with the new rules, you're not really going to be able to pass the 24-hour experience. So you could in theory chain messages, you know, queue them up for as long as you
every
want.
24 hours or something. Yeah.
Right. And as long as they interact, you can continue sending them. But as soon as they drop off and they don't respond within 24 hours, then your sequence has to stop.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
So, you know, really after that period, your only option is to do a sponsored message or to try and re-engage them into the bot through another means. So in email or with a link, or by using on a Facebook Live, you can do the comment to messenger option, which
interesting.
That's not my favorite way to use to do it. I much prefer just sending a link. But yeah, I mean, once you get them back into the bot again, that whole 24-hour period restarts.
Yeah. So one thing I like about Facebook Messenger bot is it incorporates with, Facebook Live, Facebook events. And it's kind of cool because it's kind of its own ecosystem, Facebook of itself. And I know there's a lot of people that are hating Facebook right now with all the things that they're doing, but you know, it's a way of life, especially in marketing right now, and especially with Instagram as well. I know that they're planning to combine the, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and the Instagram inbox. They said it might be longer now than originally because of it, they just think it's gonna be so confusing. Like, it's a lot of work to do that. But right now you can kind of consolidate it into Facebook. Like I tell people now, like message me on Facebook, not on Instagram.
Okay.
Just because it's like that way I can have it all in one spot.
Right.
You know, so let's talk a little bit. We're going to take a real quick break in a second, but let's talk a little bit about how one, you know, even gets started. Like what should be the first thing they set up? And maybe before we even do that, let's talk a little bit about the different ManyChat options. There's a free and a paid. Can you explain that real quick?
Right. Sure. And we can talk about this after the break, but just to comment on what you were saying is that ManyChat is being very proactive in looking at all of this marketing as omni-channel. So, and I'll love to talk about that later because it's really exciting what they're doing. But so the first thing you want to do is set up a ManyChat account. And it's free. There is a free version. There's also a paid version. And the differences are just the limitations in the different types of messages that you can send, some of the extra features and what you can send, and the different growth tools. And those are just simply the ways to get people into your bot. Yeah,
I think after the break, we're going to talk about each of those. So we can kind of walk through. I'm going to bring it up on my computer just so I can ask you about each one because I'm sure you've used them all. So, all right, we're going to take a quick break with Kelly and we'll be right back with you guys. Hey guys, are you enjoying this episode of the Twin Cities Collective podcast? Make sure to take a screenshot, post it to your Instagram story, and tag Twin Cities Collective, and we will repost it. I'm so excited to share that I have a brand new one-on-one coaching program for small business owners and marketing teams. I will educate and walk you through how to have a growing and consistent social media plan that will attract new clients, sales, and promote your brand or business. Our coaching sessions will help you feel confident in planning and strategizing your posts, creating meaningful content that will captivate your audience. Get all your social media questions answered from someone who has seen it all. Trust me, I have. I'm tired of seeing small business owners struggling with marketing companies that have scammy tactics that focuses on their bottom line and not yours. Organic results from best practices for whatever your passion is. Interested in learning more? Head to TwinCitiesCollective.com and click on the coaching page on the front menu. You can sign up for a free call to learn more and see if you'd be a good fit. Now back to the podcast. We're back with Kelly. I'm really excited because we're actually going to be showing you guys ManyChat, which is going to be awesome. I've never done this before. But we also want to let you know, if you go to Kelly's website, you can kind of see how it works on your bot. Can you kind of explain that real quick?
Yeah, my bot is named Tera Bot. It's
nice.
Yeah, Tera. You can just search for that on Facebook and go opt in, and she kind of walks you through how bots work.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching us, you'll probably see my screen right now. But I wanted to show you guys kind of the different things over here. So audience is, and I'm going to probably block this when I show everyone like names and stuff, but basically these are all the people that have opted in the last year since I've had it. Again, I haven't really pushed it too much because I'm afraid people don't know what it is. But, when people ask me questions, I have now a thing that pops up on the side of my website that says, if you have any questions, message us. I have a few different growth tools. So there's live chat as well. So what is that? That's like the actual, like when you're live chatting with someone, right?
Yes. Yeah, so you can have that pop up on your website where people can go in and ask a question, and then you can respond in real time. It's a little tricky. You want to make sure that you're very clear about the hours that you're available to do that. And there's no, like, some chat features have like
you can turn it off.
It shows when you're online and you're offline. You can just turn it off.
Just turn it off. Yeah, at the end of the day, you could just take it off your website.
Right.
But for me, like, I'm always on my phone, so I just can respond pretty fast. So that's why I've used it, because I've used other chat things like that before, where you just plug it into your website. It's on the bottom, and you've probably seen it. Like, I know, like, the library has it. Everyone has one of those, especially bigger businesses. But let's talk a little bit about the growth tools. So right now we're showing you all the options for the growth tools. So can you kind of go through each of these and kind of what they mean?
So the overlay widgets I'll just talk about those all together.
Yeah,
they're
totally.
basically the same.
They're just like different sizes. Yeah.
Right. Yep. So there's the hello bar type of thing at the top, a slide in. These are just pop-ups essentially. And you can
like you would with an email opt-in.
Yep, exactly. You can just have that come in, and instead of a form that they're filling out, there's a button that just says send to Messenger. And as long as they're logged into Facebook on that device or computer, it'll automatically go right into Messenger and just open up a Messenger window.
And it's so easy on both your phone and your computer, which is why I love it. So, and then the embeddable widgets.
Those are going to be similar again to like embeddable email forms. So they will provide you the code for a button or the code for a little box to put anywhere on your website, the sidebar, any place you want to put it.
Okay. And so then the other growth tools. So some of these are pro, which I now have access to, but some of them are free. So can you kind of go through each of the other ones?
Sure. So the landing page is an actual full landing page that you can design. I haven't played around with that one too much because I use other tools to create my landing pages, but if you wanted to use that in ManyChat, you sure could. The Messenger Ref URL, it's kind of a funny name for it, but it's just a link.
Yeah, it's like a URL.
Yep.
That you can send to someone. Like in an email or in a message from someone else. Yep.
So you generate a link, and when people click on that link, they will get sent into a specific series of messages that you've created. The Facebook Ads JSON tool connects up with your Facebook ad. So you can directly go from an ad right into Messenger. Now that tool is probably going to be deprecated. They have a much tighter integration with Facebook Ads now than they did originally.
Because there's this ads right below it, right over here.
Yep. So that tool was heavily used a lot before and not so much anymore. And it can get a little technical too.
Yeah, I feel like we should probably not talk about that. It's like too much.
right. Yeah, don't use the JSON tool. You can just do all that directly within the Ads Manager now. Facebook comments. This is I mentioned it, where people can actually type in a comment on one of your Facebook posts or your Facebook Live, and that will pop up a Messenger window.
Oh, okay. I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah, it is nice sometimes not so nice.
Okay.
It just depends on how people are going to be interacting with your post. And Facebook, it's like they created the option for that, but at the same time they don't like it, because what it can do is create false engagement. If you're telling people just type in the word message to send a message, you're just creating this post with all kinds of
Where's the message?
Fake engagement.
Okay, I have done that before on somebody else's, where they're like, type in this word, and then I got sent a message instantly. That is pretty cool, though.
It is, yeah. It's
but
neat.
Yeah, it would be weird to see a bunch of messages on like a post. Yeah, that would be weird.
Right.
Okay, and then QR code is one I kind of mentioned, so we kind of already talked about that. And then customer chat, that's the live chat, right?
Yes, that's the little box on the corner of your website that will pop up and have a live chat. Now you respond to those messages inside of ManyChat. There's a live chat tab, or you can also just respond right from Facebook.
So I will mention you can get the Facebook page app or the ManyChat app on your phone, and you'll get messages either way on live. But if you're in the sequence, you usually don't get them, like the notifications, or do you? You also get the notifications a little bit when someone's in the flow.
Right. It depends on how they respond. If they're just clicking buttons, you're not going to get a notification. But if they type something that isn't a button, or if they just kind of randomly send a message, you'll get a notification for that.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So, and then what's the checkbox? That's
I actually have not played with the checkbox.
I bet that's like where you check which ones you want, and then you get added to different lists or something.
Could be. That is a pretty new feature that I haven't played with
yet. And then I'll just kind of go through these also. So broadcasting, that's where you send it to all, right?
Right. Yep.
So it's kind of like a Facebook or a email to send to all.
Right. But again, with the new Facebook rules, that option is only going to become available for paid messages.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the automation and flows. So let's just click on this now. So the automation, this is like when you first, so like the main menu. So what are all the differences between all these? I haven't even set them up really that much.
The main menu is something that just floats up from the top, or from the bottom, excuse me.
On your phone.
Yep, on your phone. So you just swipe up, and then you can have a menu just linked to your website, or linked to, frequently asked questions, different things like that. The default reply is what you would set up for when someone messages you from the Facebook page. So you can either have them go into a sequence right away that you've specified, or you can just have them, it'll send this,
pre-written thing.
Pre-written message or reply that says, hey, I'm a bot. You have to,
Yeah, it just helps them know that you're not live. You're just it's a flow.
Right. Exactly.
And then welcome message. Again, I haven't set any of these up.
Yeah, I spoke incorrectly. The welcome message is actually the one that
is the one that
come from your
But default reply is if they send something.
If they send
like a message,
any type of message that is not what you intended in the flow. So if you wanted them to respond with buttons and they type, they'll get the default reply. If they send, and I'll skip over, or no, you're on keywords. So keywords, you can set up keywords so that if they type in, what is this, you can have a specific message sent back based on what they type in. And if they type something that isn't a keyword, they'll get the default reply.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, so these are just kind of like the main sequences you can set up. But basically, flows is really where we can set up, and there's different folders. There's like all these new things that I had not seen before. But basically, the flow is like, you can set up different ones for different types. So you can set up a flow for the people that sign up for your automation or for your lead generator. Right. You can set up a flow for people that are just contacting you. You can set up different types of automation depending on how they entered into the flow, right?
Right, exactly. And you can link flows together. You can send them from one flow to another.
Yeah. And you can add people to a flow. Like, you can just, that's part of it, is like you can add them even in the live chat. You can now add people to a flow. So if they're like, oh, I want to learn more about this event, then you could add them to like an event flow, and then it sends them all this stuff.
Yep, exactly.
So I set up my opt-in for my free download. And so I've set it up where then they can also then add themselves to the email list. So, because I saw that you had done that. Right? So that's why I upgraded, because I was like, I want those people to also be on my email list inside of ActiveCampaign, and it automatically adds them.
Right.
So yeah, so basically, that's kind of the walkthrough. Can you tell us a little bit about like what templates are also?
So there's a template marketplace, and this is hopefully going to grow over time. But basically, ManyChat has created some templates, and there also have been some bot builders that have contributed templates to it. And essentially, they're just different flows that are set up for specific purposes. So I think there's a webinar one in there that a good friend of mine actually made, Mary Catherine Johnson, and it's a webinar flow, and it just is already set up. So all you need to do is go in and enter your own text or customize it to your own text, and it's ready to go. Yeah. So that might be a good place for a lot of people to get started if they're not sure.
Can we go to your website and check out yours? Sure. Just to see how it interacts with it. So let's go. So what's your
it's etc.com. EKCETERA.com.
Yeah, I've been to that one before because I'm like so interested in how you set up your website. So basically it's this one right here. You can show me. So
this is the award-winning bot.
Yeah, if you guys like this podcast, just note we are like showing you stuff on the video. So if you want to head to our website and click and watch the video, it might be easier to understand. Otherwise, that's the hard thing about being a video and audio podcast. But yeah, again, you could also be following along with us on your phone, looking at the ManyChat. There is an app for that. So I've just so now I'm into my Messenger. Yep. And so I've already used it before, but it's like, hey, I'm your new chat bot. And then you can have buttons here. So I'll do yes, show me. And then when you click on that button, it kind of sends, that's like what the trigger is, right?
Right. Yep. So the button triggers these next set of messages. And you notice you can put pictures in, you can put GIFs, you can even send videos and attachments as well.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what gets really fun about it. This is an opportunity to give a lot of personality to your marketing, and in a way that you don't really get to do on any other channels.
Yeah, like you can see her shoes.
Yeah, I know, I love that one.
Stay focused, Tara. So basically what's happening, if you guys can't see it, is I'm just clicking buttons that are telling a story, basically. So basically these two options are to create me a bot and then teach me how. So what are those two? So you kind of pick which one.
Right. So the create a bot option goes to a form that you can fill out to do like an initial consult call with me. And then the teach me how is a course.
Okay. So let's just click on teach me how. So it opens it up in a new window. That's pretty cool. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on the create me a bot. And that also is a new link. So then do they leave from that point? And so they don't go back to it.
Right. So a lot of what you'll do with Messenger is link people to other pages, a website. And that's really a lot of, it's kind of being used as a directional tool, like a guide.
It's kind of like where do I go? And then click a link. Because that's kind of what I set up. If we go back to ManyChat, I kind of set up my the homepage part, or what is it called? Like the growth tool.
Yes.
Where it's like the what's
button.
It called? The one where it has like the main stuff. Is that under live chat?
Growth tools.
Growth tools. Where's the one where it's where you set up like the main menu? Was that under?
Oh, the menu is going to be under. Scroll down.
So then there's automation.
Automation.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, we're trying to do this up. So like for this one, this is a link out. So this is a Facebook group. We got Instagram, podcasts, and then this one goes into a flow.
Yes.
To sign up for an email because they have to enter that in.
Right.
So you can set it up in so many different ways, and that's what's cool about it. It's also overwhelming.
Yep.
So say someone wants to get started today on ManyChat. There is a free version. Yes. So let's say they log in, they set it up with their Facebook page. What would you recommend the first thing they do? Or what kind of thing they should do?
Right. So ManyChat has a free course.
Oh, okay.
Which is really helpful to go through and just kind of learn the basics. I haven't looked at it, honestly, so I don't know exactly what they go over, but I, that's where
a lot of people start. I think that's a really great place to start.
Okay. Awesome. Well, this has been so helpful. I'm so excited for you guys to watch and listen to this. So how do we connect with you? Just connect with you on Facebook?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I can definitely, I have a masterclass called the Top 6 Chatbot Myths that anyone can opt in for, and it just kind of walks through why you should use a chatbot, just the very basics of how it works, a lot of the stuff we went through here, but you'll see visuals.
For sure. And that's the one I went to.
Yes.
Because I was like, that sounds familiar. I've seen that in person. That's awesome. So thanks so much for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed this where we could show you on a screen, because sometimes it's hard to explain over the podcast what we're visually trying to show you. So I hope you guys were able to also watch the episode in addition to listening. So thanks so much, Kelly, for coming.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.